Well, you're welcome. To the barber shop. You're welcome. To the barber shop.
Episode number 241. That is 241 shows out of Boxo Studio here in Hamilton, Ontario, beneath the shadow of the great Hamilton Mountain in the greatest music city in this fine country. We bring you yet another example of superlative musical offerings. That's what we do at Barber Shop Podcast. Fantastic night. Ryan Canada is finally able to breathe. Gary Greenland finally able to breathe because we've got a treat in the house tonight, something that I realized we probably haven't had in 240 weeks. We support all kinds of live music. Our criteria here, if you want to be on the show, is that you record and you gig and you make it happen. It doesn't matter what kind of music you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's that music is your life, and that's what you do. Well, I want to tell you about something. I want to tell you about country music. Country music. Do you like country music? Well, country music has probably the best fans, the best stories, and is the cornerstone of almost as much music as the blues when you get right down to it. And I can't believe in 240 episodes, we haven't had a straight-up, kick-ass country band. That all changes tonight. Not going to talk to Ryan, not going to talk to Gary because they're micless tonight. Everything has been thrown out onto the floor here at Boxo Studio for tonight's guest. You're going to love them because I love them, because they are the Handsome Devils, and you better believe that they are the Handsome Devils. Look at them. What a good-looking bunch of people.
Yeah.
I tell you, let me introduce you. First of all, we're going to go left to right on the pedal steel, because you know it's a country band when there's a pedal steel. A lot of times that's all they do is throw a pedal steel on some other kind of music. Call it country. Not the case tonight. This is Alan Judson. He's going to be playing the pedal tonight. And next to him, playing the boost guitar is, that'd be Nathaniel?
Kurt.
Okay. See, I didn't put them in the right order. That's a problem. We got Kurt Wickland.
We're tricking you.
Yeah, and Danielle Hodges.
Yeah.
And then we've got John Gould.
That's right.
And we've got his brother Nathaniel playing drums. Now, let's talk about music. Let's talk about the origins, and we'll do it in the straight same order across. What was your first recollection? What was your first instrument? Where did music enter your life?
My first instrument was a really bad Gibson Hummingbird 12-string knockoff that had been converted to a 6-string.
Yeah.
The action was horrible, but my older brother started playing, and I got some of his chord books and just went to town like only an 11-year-old can, right?
Yeah.
Just sat in my bedroom and played and got Guitar World magazines, and played, what was on the radio or alternative music, and then that led to Hendrix and all sorts of stuff. Then bluegrass. Bought a banjo at 16.
Rock and roll country music.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I saw Deliverance when I was 16, and I thought, it never occurred to me. So I just had never heard a sound like that. So I bought a banjo at the end of the summer, and that was the back door to country.
It's true. Once you have a banjo, there's not a lot of places to go other than straight up country road.
Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Kurt?
My first love was the drums. Started when I was 12, played till I was probably 19, and then like funk fusion, jazz stuff, and then learned a bit of guitar, and then I got into a band with John and Danielle here, 7 years ago maybe? And was relegated to the bass, and I'll never look back. It's
Never
the
look
best.
back.
It's the best instrument.
You're driving a bus, and you know it, and it's fun.
He knows it.
Yeah. And Danielle, singing has always been a passion for you?
No, singing has not been a passion for me. Here's what happened with me. I started dating this guy, and then I discovered if I ever want to see him,
You better get on.
I better get playing something.
Yeah.
So I did. I mean, I played instruments when I was young, but then, we met in our we were very young, a long time ago, like 15 years ago. And I started just playing Neil Young tunes. Like he had a C harp hanging around somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I just started playing Neil Young tunes and over on repeat. And then it just kind of went from there. It was a long time before I had any guts to play in front of anybody.
It takes a while.
Yeah, it took a really, really long time. And then, you know, took lessons like everybody does. And it just evolved. And, you know, we've been, I guess, playing together for the whole time we've been together.
And different genres? Or does it
always been the same? I mean,
yeah,
pretty
mostly
much
country.
Country.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
been pretty loyal to country. Harp for me started with blues. Obviously, that's the easiest place to start and to learn, and especially for soloing. So that's where a lot of my lessons were, and a lot of where you hear most of the harp.
Yeah.
So it's harder to find country harp, to be honest. But yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. I'm going to skip all the way over to Nathaniel.
Yes.
Drums, always a drummer, or were you?
It's funny because I play in a few other bands myself, and I write songs as well, and I play guitar and harmonica and that. But my first instrument was drums at 13. My older brother Derek had like a old Westbury kit up in his attic, and I remember him putting on My Sharona, and he could play it like flawlessly along on this like crappy kit, and I just remember hearing the drums live, and I wanted to join in, and he taught me like my first beat, and I just kind of went on from there.
Siblings are so great. That's why you see so many of them in bands, because you know when you start out, and it's hard. Like there's so many of the great bands in that post-war era, you know, that kind of came out in the 60s. They all started at the same time together, and they were brutal together at the same time, and they grew, and then they developed a kind of a sound that was all their own, because they weren't, you know, the seasoned players and kind of the cut and paste musician world that we live in today. All right, John, when you had a vision of this band, did it exist for a while, or did it kind of holistically grow on its own?
That's a good question. I actually had a dream about this band. I had a dream probably when I was 15 about a group that I was in. Looked a little different than us, but we all had these big black beards and these black robes, like almost like Mennonites in a way, or you know, this sort of dark look, and big wide brim hats, and we were all singing sort of country music as a family band, but very dark music. I don't want to say sort of slave music, but that kind of style of like gospel-y, traditional type music. And it's sort of been my life's mission to make that band. And here I am 20 years later, and we're almost there. We're getting there. I mean, the beards are growing.
The robes are on order.
The robes are on layaway, actually. We're saving up. But no, I had this dream, because I've always loved country music, and Nathaniel and I grew up in the Ottawa Valley.
Whereabouts?
And in Pembroke.
Okay.
Pembroke, Ontario, which is a pretty big music town as well, and we have the international.
A lot of music come out of there.
Lots, and the fiddle contest was there every year, and so we saw a lot of old country music when we were growing up, and then it turned into something else that we can probably talk about later. But and I've always sort of, I think we've always had a bit of a draw toward an original. No, well, it's not. We're not original, but it's sort of that down-home country that makes you feel good instead of kind of just.
Yeah, it's the difference between a homemade apple pie and a store-bought apple pie.
That's
it really
right.
is.
Yeah.
And they can all be different, but they're all the same. You know, like the elements that are the same are all there, and it comes down to what you put into it. And listening and sound check, you certainly have your shit together. And we like that on Barbershop Podcast. We like music, and that's what we promote here at Barbershop Podcast. Live, original, real music. It is out there. It is out there 7 days a week. It doesn't take a lot of effort to find the venues in your town. And in Hamilton, there are plenty. And it doesn't matter if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can find live music. And I suggest, don't wait till you feel good. Go when you feel shitty. And you will feel good after you've spent a few minutes soaking in what live music is all about. All right, we're going to start off with a live tune. Now that we've established that, what is the first one you're going to do for us?
We're going to start with sort of our oldest tune, I think, as a group. It's called Dancing Alone. I write a lot of songs that are sort of sad and
About me.
about my wife. No, but But this is a song that's sort of. I guess a lot of my songs are about someone who just sort of misses something, and this guy just missed something, and now he's dancing alone. And yeah, this is we're gonna start real slow, I guess.
All right, you're gonna hear it, and I get to hear it, and we all get to hear it right here, right now on BarbershopPodcast.com.
We'll walk through the valley, past the tree where I carved out your name. The words are all faded, branches that don't look the same. Oh, I hope you're at home, 'cause it's no fun dancing alone. Yeah, I hope you're at home, 'cause it's no fun dancing alone. On a long road to see you, it's been such a very long time. Got a feeling you've left me, but I'm hoping that's all in my mind. Oh, I hope you're at home, 'cause it's no fun dancing alone. Yeah, I hope you're at home, 'cause it's no fun dancing alone. Go ahead, Al. doors in the distance. The night sky it falls on my head. I've been knocking for hours, but it's late and I guess you're in bed. Oh, I hope you're at home, 'cause it's no fun dancing alone. Yeah, I hope you're at home, 'cause it's no fun dancing alone. Oh, I hope you're at home, 'cause it's no fun dancing alone.
So incredibly good. Oh my goodness. That is real country music, and this is Barbershop Podcast. That is the handsome. Yeah, indeed. Look at them go. The handsome strangers, and they are strangers no longer to you and me here at Barbershop Podcast. Let's talk about country music. It is a really vibrant scene that's happening. When you talk about the music centers of the world, you talk about Nashville, you talk about Austin, clearly country music is still alive and well. Were you did you stick out like a sore thumb? Were you the only country fan in your high school, or how tough was it?
Well, in a way, so kinda. I mean, in Pembroke there was their biggest radio station was a country station, but it was more like a Garth Brooks country station.
Right.
Brooks and Dunn or something like these groups that
Shania.
yeah, a lot of Shania Twain, and which in their own right are fine, but they're not really what I like. And so there were a lot of those fans, but there weren't a lot of, sort of like Boxcar Willie fans,
Yeah.
or Johnny Cash fans, and yeah. So I mean, it was like we grew up in a I think a part of Ontario that's very country music, but not necessarily in the time when the good country music
Yeah.
was around.
And they do revere the classic country. It's not cast out.
No,
as,
not
it's
at all.
like-
Not at all.
It's the whole idea of storytelling, which is painfully absent in most pop music these days. And as I said, it was not cool at all when I was growing up to like country. It was just one of those things where you had to have your team. Rock, disco, and country didn't even enter the mix. Maybe mom liked it a bit, maybe grandma liked it. But as I grew up and I've seen it time and time again, when you start learning and getting deeper into the music, you discover the best stories and the best individuals come from that world of country, especially outlaw country, which is, proudly wearing their badge of honor, as it would be.
Their stories.
Yeah, and I felt a rush while you were playing, and it's like the same when you go to the blues. People say, "Why would you want to go hear a bunch of people whine about stuff?" It's like, you don't understand. It's pulling it from you and replacing it with this cosmic buzz that happens when music hits the air. Did you guys always play well together? Were there rough times at the beginning when kind of coming on the same page? Did you, like you said, you picked up that pedal steel. You obviously got it custom made. You've invested a lot of time and a lot of money in it. Is this something that you said you always kind of wanted to do? Once you hooked up with these guys, this was it?
Well, I introduced myself. I saw them. I mean, these guys are all related.
That's how you do it.
We are related.
He's the only one who's
And my
not.
brother
all
used
these
to
people
play.
are family.
He's adopted.
Al's intro to
My
the
brother's in
band
the
is
band.
actually a pretty funny story.
Yeah, let's hear
So
it.
I play in a bluegrass band, and we weren't playing a ton of shows when I met these guys. We were chugging along, but we weren't like going hot and heavy and doing lots of shows and stuff. So I went out with my wife, and she's like, "Alan, these guys are playing music you love. Go talk to you know, like, I don't know.
No.
And they're like, just ask him to jam sometime. So I kind of slunk over. And I'm like, oh yeah, I play dobro and bluegrass guitar and stuff. And then John, and I'm like, you want to jam sometime? And John, I was like, oh, I guess so. And then
You never know what you're gonna get.
yeah, I could have been crazy, right?
We know shows everybody wants to jam, you know.
But
like,
once you heard the magic word pedal steel.
Well, Well, actually, but then it goes
the dobro at the time.
It goes deeper, so keep going now.
So John was impressed with my dobro and guitar chops.
Of course he was.
And he's like, all right, you're in the band. And I did a few shows, and John's like, oh, you should try my lap steel, which it's 6-string. It's like the dobro. Tune it up like the Hank Williams tuning, you know, the C6 Hawaiian sounding. And I tried that for a bit, and John's like, oh, I also have a pedal steel.
Well, the thing, too, I'll interrupt, because he got so good at it, at that lap steel very quickly, that I was like, I think you should take, because I bought this old pedal steel that I'd sitting in my basement forever, and I said, you know, I think,
yes,
you know,
found a home.
Yes, here you are.
And I wasn't like, all right, the pedal steel, I'm gonna kill on that. But
a little intimidated.
Yeah, but once I
because it's tuned in ninths, right? Is it ninths?
Yeah.
And you play with your feet and your knees as much as you play with your fingers.
That's right. Yeah, and it's all horizontal rather than vertical. But you know, after about 7 hours of tuning it and then learning how to play a few chords, I was like, I really love this, and then I got obsessive. And then, you know, after a couple months, I'm like, well, John's pedal steel is always dropping out of tune and stuff. I'm going to put some money into it. So I just used money from gigs and squirreled it away and then ordered it.
Lovely. It's nice when you get something, a new project roll in. And
that's right.
The shipment's here. And get to unwrap it and hope it's not shattered and broken.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm very happy about this whole situation right now. You guys are fantastic.
Well, thanks.
And the sound is fantastic. Ryan Cannon, incredible sound man, great engineer. He is head engineer here at Boxo Studio. You know, I like to produce here at Boxo Studio. If you think this sounds fantastic, you know, someone hooking up, setting up, and miking up, and sound checking and doing that all in an hour and a half or 2 hours, that's pretty amazing stuff. You know, you should see and hear what you do if you're going to record a record. So if you're going to record a record or you need a video done, check us out at Boxo Studio. That's what we do. Every cent we make, we pour back into our business, which is supporting live music, which is what y'all should do. And by doing that, we also buy CDs. Because CDs are kick-ass. Nothing like a nice, thick, creamy WAV file to listen to. And, you know, albums are great as well. But if you're impressed with a band, chances are they have CDs. And a lot of times they're in someone's trunk and they don't even bring them in because they're a little bashful. Ask a band if you like, say, do you have a CD? Do you have some recorded material? Are there downloads? Where can I get it? And we've got a couple offerings here from you. We're going to play a recorded song. The first one is off your CD, The Cabin Sessions. And it is a song called Hanky for My Tears, which sounds so classic country. Is there anything you want to tell us about it, or is it going to be self-explanatory?
Well, I can give you a quick. They all got a story.
All right.
This one we recorded in a cabin in Bayfield, Ontario, and my brother-in-law Glenn, who's my wife's brother, he's normally in the band. He couldn't make it tonight. But anyway, he called me one day and he said, I had this idea that we need a song called A Hanky for My Tears, if you can write it. And so I took my kids to the park, and I just, in my head the whole time they were sort of playing, I was thinking about what if I lost everything? And all I had left was a hanky for my tears. And so that's what this song
Pen to paper and away you go.
This is it.
All right. You're going to hear it right here, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, she drove away this morning. She took everything. She took the kids, she took the car, she took our wedding ring. She took all those precious memories we collected through the years, and all that she left me was this, a hanky for my tears. Now she took down all the photographs of our wedding day, and she packed up all the records from when we danced the night away. She even took the love letters filled with sweethearts, loves, and days. And all that she left me was this, a hanky for my tears. Well, she said I'd take her for granted, and that she'd be gone for good. This time I ain't coming back, and I said I understood. Oh, today I've come to realize is the deepest of my fears, as I sit here in this empty room with this hanky for my tears. Initials are embroidered on the corner of the cloth. Those three pink little letters remind me of a little thing I've lost. 'Cause all of my belongings are sitting with me right here. This empty bottle, this broken heart, this hanky for my tears. Said I'd take her for granted, and that she'd be gone for good. This time I ain't coming back, and I said I understood. Oh, today I've come to realize the deepest of my fears, as I sit here in this empty room with this hanky for my tears.
Hanky for My Tears, another great tune from the Handsome Devils. Tonight's guest on barbershoppodcast.com. Going to give a shout out to our sponsor over at Taxes Done Right. If you have taxes to be done, you want them to be done right. If you have bookkeeping that needs to be done, get a hold of Heather. That's her number right there. And I can't tell you the number of people who have come through here, or Boxo Studio clients, who eventually got a hold of Heather and said, wow, it is so great to have someone who has their accreditation, who knows what they're doing, who has an empathetic ear, and will take care of me. So if you've got taxes to do and you've been waiting, maybe it's been a bunch of years and you're just not doing anything, sticking your head in the ground, don't do it. You might actually be in a much better position than you think. Check her out. Check it out at Taxes Done Right. All right, here at Barbershop Podcast, we strive to provide the very best in live music. Less chatter, more matter. Let's get some more matter out there. What is the next live offering?
We're going to do a song called Neath the Clay, which is off of our newest album, The Cabin Sessions, that we recorded in Bayfield. Do you want a little background on it?
Sure.
This one? Okay. So this one, growing up in the Ottawa Valley with my brother, it's a bit wild, especially the Quebec side of the Ottawa River. And Danielle and I were just at a cottage up near North Bay. And I always think of people coming to Canada 200 years ago, getting off the boat and then trying to make a go at life here, especially out in the wilderness, and just being so isolated and alone and sort of contending with nature and what, I would be terrified, I guess. So this is a song that sort of looks at the fears of settlement.
No happy
Fears
endings.
of settlement.
Wow.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it all. I do. You will too. On barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, we moved down here about a year ago. We were looking for a place to call our own. But the winter came, and it stole them dreams away. Well, now Ben died first in the morning light. Jesus and the angels, well, they watched him all night. But when the morning came, well, they took his little soul away. Now the wind did howl and the snow it fell. And the ground outside, it was as hard as hell. But we dug a grave, and we'll bury him neath the clay. Mama cried, Sarah child, you're burning up. Don't you take my daughter, she's all I got. But them angels came, and they took her little soul away. It was as hard as hell. But we dug a grave, and we'll bury her beneath the clay. Go ahead, Al. Buried him neath the clay. Me and my mama packed up everything we could. Yeah, we headed for town straight through them woods. Well, we made it halfway, when they took our soul away. Yeah, we made it halfway.
Country music, the way it should be, by the Handsome Devils. Tonight's guest on Barbershop Podcast, as mentioned earlier, episode 241, closing in on our 5th year anniversary, the end of November. You know it's a heck of a good time. There's always an open house that is yawning. Openness. People have a good time because music brings us together. Music instructs, educates, soothes. It is so much more than background music. It is so much more than a commercial, something to sell something. It is a life force, and too often we overlook it, and we sell it short, and we don't serve music the way it serves us. So I would say get out there, and if you're a musician, be a good musician, be a good friend, promote not only yourself but your friends and associates and the people around it. Get your hand off of that. we warned them with lavalier microphones, you're not allowed to touch anything but your instrument. But it comes through loud and clear. All through wires and microphones, all of that passion, all of that inspiration, all of the nuances come bouncing off a satellite, coming back down to earth, coming through your computer, and you're watching it right now. It's an amazing world we live in. But make no mistake, that's not a substitute for live music. Go out and check these guys out. Speaking of which, you got any live shows coming up? What do you want to promote?
Super Crawl's coming up.
Super Crawl, yeah.
Super Crawl, are you playing any particular stage?
No, yeah. A friend of ours owns Bar Zakaya, BMO parking lot, and he sets up a little tent for us, and we play there. It's actually
we played
nice
last year. We had
It's
lots
great.
of dancers. We had a bit of almost
parking lot.
like a hoedown type square dance going on last year. It was great.
Sweet.
Good spot.
All right, you know, Super Crawl is the party in Ontario, if not Canada. So if you're from the States, you're watching, or you're from across the world, come to Hamilton. Come see us. I mean, these guys came to Hamilton. It can't be that bad, right? And it is far from bad. It is the greatest.
Awesome.
It strong steel, hot fire. That's what we produce here. It ain't easy, but it's good. I'll tell you that much. And we're going to play another tune. This one is off of the other CD that you brought in here, off of the one and only CD. This one is called Life Sucks. God knows we've all felt that. But I'm sure that there's a caveat in there. Tell us about the making of this record.
So this tune, my brother and I have been playing it a little while, and it's basically just it's those bad days. It's a song about bad days.
Yes, we've all had them. And there's nothing better than a little country music to get you through
That's
one.
right.
Yeah, we've all felt it. Feel it. Hear it now on barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, I get up every morning, I wash my face and I go to work. I listen to the news about the world going berserk. And then some guy cuts me off in traffic and I'm the stupid jerk. I'll tell you, life is sucking the life out of me. I gotta deal with dumbass people every minute of the day. I ask them, how you doing? But that ain't what they say. It's shut your stupid face and get the hell out of my way. I tell you, life is a sucking the life out of me. I've tried yoga and meditation, man, I've even tried to knit. I've been born again 6 times now, honey, and that ain't doing shit. I've been smoking, drinking, gambling, hasn't helped me a bit. I tell you, life is a sucking the life out of me. Yeah. Friday night turns a Monday morning in the twinkling of an eye. If you're living for the weekend, you better kiss that thought goodbye. They say, well, live in the moment then. Well, that's a stupid lie. I tell you, life sucking the life out of me. I've tried yoga and meditation, man, I've even tried to knit. I've been born again 6 times now, honey, and that ain't doing shit. I've been smoking, drinking, gambling, hasn't helped me a bit. I tell you, life is sucking the life out of me. Now they tell you save your money, son, but all I do is spend. I'll be paying off a damn credit card till Jesus comes again. It'll be my rotten luck that he'll be here to collect the rent. I tell you, life sucking the life out of me. I've tried yoga and meditation, man, I've even tried to knit. I've been born again 6 times now, honey, and that ain't doing shit. I've been smoking, drinking, gambling, hasn't helped me a bit. I tell you, life is sucking the life out of me. I tell you, life life out of me. Yes, it is. Life is sucking the life out of me.
And that is Life Sucks off of the CD, the one and only from the Handsome Devils, tonight's guest on Barbershop Podcast. Check them out. Where can they find your stuff?
We're on Google Play. I think we're on iTunes too.
iTunes,
Spotify.
Yeah.
Curdy's the man to talk to
Apple
about this.
Music.
handsomedevils.ca.
Handsomedevils.ca.
Dig a little, you'll find it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you
Turn
will.
up the rock.
If you put Hamilton with our name, you usually find more
Yeah.
stuff.
There's other handsome devils out there.
All the best names. Like Ryan and I were in a band in just the turn of the century. It's fun saying that. And it was called Captain Easy because it was a comic book character. I thought, what a great name. And then, of course, we looked it up and there was... Well, I think the closest one was Virginia or something. So it's like, nah, you know.
Yeah.
If we get that famous, I'll worry about it. We'll be Captain Easy X. You know, All right. Music, it's often something you hear. It's often a sibling or a friend turns you on to it, their record collection. I want to talk about country music and about someone, an individual or a group that you would recommend to someone who's listening tonight and going, wow, I didn't know I like country music, but that's really making, it's doing it for me. Who's someone in country music that you would like to give a shout out to that someone should check out? Start with you.
The people have their pencils and papers out?
Yeah. I got a few.
Well, one guy, you can check out Justin Rutledge from Toronto. He's got an album called No Never Alone, and that's my favorite. It hits the sweet spot. It's not, I think it's a good introduction. But also, if you listen to Old Crow Medicine Show, if you want to get bluegrassy, go with Norman Blake or Doc Watson. And I'll let these guys.
Yeah, don't take them all the good ones. Yeah. What do you think? Who does it for you?
It's like similar to us is old Daniel Romano. He's from Welland.
Yep.
His first two albums are pure country, and they're beautiful, great albums to listen to.
Yeah. What about you?
We were just at a bar. Where were we? At the Casbah. And we played with a couple of other bands, and one of them was the Hypochondriacs, who I had never heard before, and my brain exploded. I couldn't believe the musicianship. They were all of us were from Fredericton, all of us were just completely blown away. Seriously, you have to. My kids love them too.
Hypochondriacs.
Yeah.
We'll check it out.
Excellent.
And you?
I think for me, probably someone I've listened to for a long time now is Charlie Parr. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's out of Duluth, Minnesota. He's sort of a hillbilly-looking guy. Plays a lot of resonator guitar and 12-string guitar finger-picking style, and he does a lot of really old tunes, either gospel, country, and he's awesome. If you can, folks, look him up. I'd love for him to come up here or something. He's great. He's a great guy. Charlie Parr, P-A-R-R.
Wonderful. And?
So, a couple years back, my friend Cody Smith used to host like a live country night at the Painted Lady in Toronto, and we were kind of the house band, and we had different artists come in and out, and I had no idea who this guy was, and his name is Jack Marks. Do you know Jack Marks?
No.
He's
Danny Marks.
Danny Marks? I don't know if they're related. But anyway,
that's his sister.
At this live country night, it was the first time I heard him, and I totally loved him, and I talked to him afterwards, and he had like a couple CDs, like he said, like ask if they have the CDs. He wasn't even selling any. And he gave me his CD, Two of Everything, it's called. And I literally like learned every song on that album. I went home and like, I love this guy, and I've only met him once, and that was when I was introduced to him, and I haven't seen him again, and I honestly want to like talk to him
you're
again.
You're a super fan.
Yeah.
So if you're out there,
misconnection.
Great spokesman right there. And that's a whole bunch right there. Get on the internet, find it. You maybe just fell in love with country music. What are you going to play for us next?
This is a song called Whiskey and Women. It's a song that I wrote for all the smokers out there. We're out there. They're hard to give up, and it's basically it's a love song to cigarettes.
Oh, we all love that. You're gonna love it right here in the Hammer, right there across the world. BarbershopPodcast.com.
I like the way you taste. You taste on my lips. I like to keep you close. Yeah, right by my hip. You got me under some kind of spell. Maybe one day I'll be free. You know that I can handle whiskey and women, but you smoke's a killing me. So slim and so slender, skin porcelain white. Your hair is like a fire, babe. It lights up my night. But can't you see I'm a married man? Honey, just let me be. You know that I can handle whiskey and women, but you smoke's a killing me. 'Cause on my way home, I'll still smell you on my fingers. I think she knows, 'cause your perfume, it lingers. When I say I want one, I usually mean 2 or 3. You know that I can handle whiskey and women, but you smoke's a killing me. I see you brought all your friends, all lined up real pretty. I'll have my way with all of them, probably all in one sitting. And when I wake up in the morning, I'll be filled with regret to see. You know that I can handle whiskey and women, but you smoke's a killing me. 'Cause on my way home, I'll still smell you on my fingers. I think she knows, 'cause your perfume, it lingers. When I say I want one, I usually mean 2 or 3. You know that I can handle whiskey and women. You know that I can handle whiskey and women. You know that I can handle whiskey and women, but you smoke's a killing me. All right.
And if it doesn't teach you something, it's not a country song, right? That's what they say. It's, you get educated if you just sit down and listen and go through. I've got a lot of country in my LPs in there. Some of it by hook or crook, where you fall into it. And, you know, I remember I got my first George Snow record, and it wasn't mine. It was just sitting around. I looked at it, flipped past it so much, and then I put it on one day and went, wow. You know, like, I mean, for me, it was folk was the first thing, because when I started playing, I bought a Gordon Lightfoot songbook because they didn't have a lot of selection. So I also bought the tape and learned the best of and learned the songs. Easy guitar, you know, was limited to 5 or 6 chords, and you develop your right hand, you develop the rhythm, you make the song happen. And then, of course, you start hearing names that pop up time and time again. And the greats, you mentioned Johnny Cash. Seeing him revered the way he was prior to his death, where he was truly acknowledged. Him and Willie Nelson, they're like Lemmy. You know, you can't not like him and not be scorned. That is a true ass-kicking, real superstar. Any famous words or famous stories that stick in your mind from some of your icons, the great ones?
I think for me, I know I'm a big Waylon Jennings fan.
Yes.
Big time. And, you know, I some of the stories I've sort of read and heard about him in terms of just these guys, they just burn it at both ends and go for like decades.
Yeah.
Like non-stop,
and they were really Willie Nelson. I was him like people wouldn't recognize him in the early days because he wore a suit and he had to work for the man and he had to sit on the stool and he was writing a lot of songs for other people, but he was bound and determined that he was going to be a recording artist. And it wasn't until he kind of owned it, became who he was, and there was this kind of long hair hippie psychedelic element that didn't exist with country before, but somehow worked so good.
And reggae sometimes too.
He's playing a classical guitar.
Yeah.
I got a great Willie story. Is someone asked him, you know, the people who tour with him, you know, he seems like a pretty relaxed guy. When does Willie get pissed off? When do you see him raging? And he said that when he's talking to a fan and, you know, just signing autographs or whatever and chatting, if you come interrupt him, later he'll let you know, because he said the fans are, you know, they're everything.
Yeah, he's lived it and he saw it. And I remember seeing how he got that Martin guitar, and it was Django Reinhardt was his idol, and he was like, wow, I want to play like that. I want to play with that speed and that kind of attack and that kind of have the guitar speak for me, and having the gut strings and that scale was what he needed. And I remember like someone had knocked over his guitar, so he went to a guitar store and bought it. And even back then in the 60s, it was a whack of money, you know, a good chunk of money. So it's an investment. It's always an investment in not only the instruments, but the time. You know, musicians put in so much time, and I say it time and time again. I don't know another group of people who invest so much with such a little guarantee of anything other than happiness out of the end. So you better have the right attitude that you're doing it for the right reasons, because you love it, because it moves you, because it makes you feel, it makes other people feel. It is a true service. We are all about music here, music as an agent of change, and we love it. We like the records you brought in here too. We're going to play another tune off of the Cabin Sessions. Tell us about this. You actually went up to a cabin and hung out in the woods?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
We sell polar bear. No.
we rented a cabin up in Bayfield, and we brought along Andrew Deutsch, who's an excellent sound guy, and he wired this whole cabin, mics everywhere. And we'd done an album prior, the one and only Handsome Devils in the Studio, and we wanted something else. So we just sat in a circle, and all these songs are 1 or 2 takes, and that's it, and that's what we put on the record. You capture the essence. Yeah. That's what we wanted.
Yeah. No, so. don't wring all the life out of something if it's born that way. The song is called "Heaven Is Having One Hell of a Time." From the Cabin Session record, it is the Handsome Devils on barbershoppodcast.com.
I worked hard every day and earned all my pay, making the rich richer, doing what they say. But now the week's over and I'm coming home to you. So put on that red dress, them old dancing shoes, 'cause it's hey ho, honey, let's go. Have a quick drink and bring one for the road. Yeah, it's hey ho, honey, let's go. It's Friday night, we ain't staying at home. Now I waited in line to collect all that's mine. 2 weeks in wages and a little overtime. Should've run to the banks what they taught me in school. 'cause it's hey ho, honey, let's go. Grab a quick drink and bring one for the road. Yeah, it's hey ho, honey, let's go. It's Friday night, we ain't staying at home. Now we'll drink what we want, beer, whiskey, or wine. 'Cause heaven is having one hell of a time. Here's to you, darling, yeah, what do you say? What good is working if you can't never play? 'Cause it's hey ho, honey, let's go. Have a quick drink, bring one for the road. Yeah, it's hey ho, honey, let's go. It's Friday night, we ain't staying at home. Well, it's hey ho, honey, let's go. Have a quick drink and bring one for the road. Yeah, it's hey ho, honey, let's go. It's Friday night, we ain't staying at home.
All right, the Handsome Devils in the house tonight. A fantastic group of people. I tell you, they are making it happen, and we are making it happen here at Barbershop Podcast, putting it out there for you. It's on the interweb forever. If you love it, share it. Okay, it doesn't you like it, tell someone, say, you know what, there's a lot of great music, a lot of great people, a lot of great stories right there on Barbershop Podcast. Be a part of it on a regular basis. Show your commitment, damn it. All right, we're going to end up the evening with one more live tune, obviously the one you saved for this exact moment. What are you going to do for us?
We're going to do a tune called Demons in the Shed. This is actually going full circle. This is kind of the song in the dream that we were playing.
Nice.
Whoa.
The reenactment.
Get the robes out.
The robes are here.
Distribute the robes.
So there's a song. It's called "Demons in the Shed," and it's a story about a young boy, and his dad's away, and he's out at the farm with his mom, and he goes to sleep sort of after he's put the cows in the barn, and he's ready to go to bed, and he gets into bed and he falls asleep, and then the song begins.
Lovely. Great way to end the evening.
What happens, John?
You're all going to find out at the same time, because you're going to hear the Devils in the Shed right here, Handsome Devils, on barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, get up and grab Death's rifle cigarette. She said, this ain't no laughing matter, son. There's demons in the shed. All right, Al. Rifleman out one I'd never use. And as I walked out from the door, my mom turned and said, be careful with your soul, my son. There's demons in the shed. Now I never read my Bible, no I ain't no holy man. I don't even go to church, not even when I can. But even though my faith's so weak, you can break it like a thread. I pray to Jesus, save my soul tonight. There's demons in the shed. Now I took my little candle and I held it up to the door. And as I walked inside, I watched one go scurrying across the floor. And then I looked into its eyes as I screamed to raise the dead. I screamed, dear Jesus, save my soul tonight. There's demons in the shed.
All right, that just happened live. You can go check it out yourself. Check them out at Supercrawl. That's happening right here, second Tuesday second Friday, Tuesday, Friday. Yeah, my own Supercrawl in September. Tons and tons of people there. Check them out. Check them out online or watch this episode over and over again. We do our very best, and you guys did your very best tonight. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely killed it.
Good time.
Thank you.
All right, guys. For Ryan Cannon, Gary Greenland, and I guess Cool Joe, I'm your host, Kevin Barber. We'll see you next week for another fantastic episode of BarbershopPodcast.com.